My name's Josh Van Valkenburg-Gernert. I'm here with Director of Track and Field and Cross Country, Joe Stevens. Thanks for joining me today, Joe. I'm just kind of getting started. You start your season pretty quick here. September 2nd, you go to Wyoming. What are you kind of looking to see? I assume that's going to be a bigger meet, a lot of D1, D2 athletes. What do you kind of hope to see to kick off your season?
You know, it's an exciting opportunity. It is primarily Division I opponents. We are going to compete against Chadron State, a couple of small junior colleges, but Texas Tech, Colorado State, University of Wyoming, University of Northern Colorado. So there's going to be some stiff competition. Some of those teams are some of the best in Division I. But that's intentionally by design. I want to continue to elevate the expectations of what a level of competition we're used to competing against and develop a comfortability with facing tough opponents.
Yeah, that actually kind of leads me right into my next question. I was going to ask, since you came on, I've noticed a difference in the scheduling where you're going a little bit further away and a little bit to some of those bigger meets with D1 competition. You kind of mentioned that's by design. What are some of the aspects, where you really see differences in doing that?
The main thing is a psychological growth that occurs. Competition on college level is just as much the mental as the physical. You can be in great shape, you can hit great numbers in the weight room, hitting 100 miles a week, whatever that it is, whatever training metric you want to talk about. But if you're not mentally used to the stress of competition, you're not going to perform well. So you have to compete early like you want to compete late. That's what this is about.
And talking a little bit, this is your second year now. Last year there were some pretty obvious steps of growth, especially towards the end of the season once you got to RMAC, once you got to districts. Where do you kind of see the team right now, and what are you kind of hoping, to see as steps of growth early and as we get later into the season? So
roster size is one of the things it's been a huge growth for us. We were 13 on our roster last year, and we have 28 men. Women increased a little bit as well. We also got a lot more fit and a lot more healthy. We're going on a year and a half basically of an uninjured team that's got a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of passion, and I am simply holding my team back right now. They have some big goals and some big dreams, and I'm just saying whoa, because I know there has to be some strategic process and some patience. And we're going to go in and throw our nose in there and compete hard in these first couple meets to start off the year. But really we're aiming for the end of the season. We have to be strategic and understand that the conference championships and the regional championships are what really, really matter, and that's what we're aiming for.
Sure. Last year you had some pretty exciting performances, especially from, on the women's side. Claire Fisher, she was a freshman last year, and she wound up being one of your best runners. What is that like to be able to just come in your first year and have someone show that kind of improvement?
We've had some good newcomers last year that they're hardworking young ladies. Claire was definitely one of them. I'm a big team guy, so it's exciting for me to take one or two athletes and then bring 3 or 4 more alongside of them and see the unit grow. And we had 100% of the team set PRs last year coming out of the track and field season, so we've got great momentum coming into cross country, and we're excited to translate that momentum from maybe an individual focus into a team focus, and everybody matters, and let's get it done and let's win together.
Sure, and then on the men's side, you have a little bit more of experience. You have, Tyler Captain returning, Brett Flurchinger, who Brett's, I think, it is last year of eligibility. What is it like to be able to lean on those guys for some leadership?
They've done a lot of work this summer. Brett was probably one of the, he's one of the, I guess you'd say, the pioneers in a sense. Some guys that graduated a few years ago, Tim Dunham, that really decided to, on their own, just start training really hard. Just start running 15 miles a day, 100 miles a week, and saying, you know what, we're going to be good in a couple of years. And so it's neat to have him. He's kind of one of the last ones that started that movement, and I was fortunate enough to come on board when there was some momentum and some desire to be good, and the athletes were actually taking accountability for where they were at and saying, we're not satisfied being average. We want to be a good Division II team. We want to be a national qualifying team, but we know the work it takes. And, Tyler Captain, he's young still, but he's a good leader. Those guys do a good job, and we got 28, so we need good leaders.
All right, thank you so much for joining me today, Joe. Good luck this weekend. Good luck throughout the season.
Thank you, sir.